My name is Jadon Hand, and I currently live in Huntingtown, Maryland. I can't really narrow down where my original home is, but I was born in Indiana, Indianapolis, and after that, my dad went into the U.S. Navy, and he was in the Navy for 20 years, and we just moved every 3 to 5 years. And so I lived in Spain for 3 years. I lived in Italy for 3 years, and three of my siblings are from Uganda, Africa, because my parents adopted from Uganda. And what through all that, my life changing event was when I was 8 years old. I my great great uncle took me in a little Cessna 172, and it was my first plane ride. And at that moment, I knew that aviation was what I was being called to. Either if it was an aeronautical engineer or pilot or something in the aviation field. And I wasn't very certain of what God wanted me to do at that time when I was 8, and I I didn't really feel like I was being called to any certain direction until about a couple of years after, and I went to a mission aviation training academy, and that's when I knew I was being called to be a missionary bush pilot to somewhere in the world. And I but I didn't know exactly where, and I still don't know exactly where I'm going to be called to be a missionary bush pilot, but I feel like I'm being called to maybe East Africa because I went to Africa and I went to Uganda and witnessed um, firsthand what the ministry is like there. And I have always been in tune with missionary organizations like Samaritan's Purse or organizations that provide missionary bush pilots to certain areas of the world. And but at that moment when I was 8, I just knew that I was being called to aviation. And I'm currently pursuing a degree in aeronautical science, and that is what I feel like God wanted me to do education wise, because I can use that in the mission field with my piloting skills. And I currently have 15 hours of flight time, and I need a lot more, but that is a ways away. And I just knew at that time that God wanted me to pursue aviation in my life. And thank you for listening.